excited to be here with Salem and with this beautiful cast of queens to have a great conversation. We're excited to participate in this evening's surprise chat and exclusive season preview with the entire cast of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 8. Let's hear it one more time for the queens.
Quick note, we're really excited because the premiere is happening next Friday, May 12th. Okay, I know that's right! And it's going to be on Paramount Plus with 2 brand new episodes, but as we stated earlier, we have an exclusive viewing of episode 1 a full week early.
So we know that these 12 queens are returning to the Workroom this season, but we're also going to see some exciting judges this season. Maud Apatow, Brandon Boyd, Zoe Deschanel, Tom Felicia, Javicia Leslie, Idina Menzel, or Adele Dazeem.
Okay, and we also have Egon Wodim. We have Matt Rogers, Adam Shankman, Jojo Siwa, Robin Thede, Bowen Yang. Yay! In addition to that, we also have a second way to win in the first ever Fame Games. So, I know, right? We gotta get.
This is tea. This is new tea.
Okay. So this happens when eliminated queens vie for a prize of $50,000 each week on RuPaul's Drag Race, All-Stars Untucked and online. The eliminated queens will showcase their runway looks and appeal for fan votes. Ultimately, the Drag Race audience will decide who becomes the queen of the fan game.
You heard it here
Come
first,
on now.
but don't tell other people. We are really excited to have this conversation tonight, and we're really thankful to the cast for being here. We just want to remind everyone that after the conversation is over, please remain in your seats because we're going to go right into the viewing right afterwards. So let's get started with this chat.
Yes.
So a quick note to the queens. Okay, so we have a short and limited time, y'all. That means we can only take about 2 or 3 queens per question. So just keep that in mind and feel free to jump in as we go along, okay? Period.
All right, so I'm going to start with Candy because as a fellow New York Dominican, I feel like and as Slim said, after Candy, we'll open it up for some other queens to answer the question, and we'll do the same for the other questions. What was going through your mind when you first walked into the Workroom this season?
First of all, hi everyone. I was gonna say it feels so good to be in my hometown. I see so many familiar faces in the audience, so I'm excited that we get to show you what we created last summer. It's going to be incredible, so thank you so much for coming tonight. But going into All-Stars, you know, on season 13, I was very loud and boisterous about who I was. I was a hood bitch from the Bronx. And it rubbed some people the wrong way, but I always say this: if it's for you, then you get it. If it's not for you, then you're not supposed to get it. You know? So walking into All-Stars, I could have had a chip on my shoulder and been like, well, everyone hated me, so I need to come in and prove to people why I'm better now. No, in fact, I'm actually worse. So, if you go out overconfident on season 13, you just wait till All-Stars. But to me, I was walking in, I don't have to make people like me because that's not my job. My job is to be authentically myself. And that is a bitch from the hood to Hollywood.
Thanks, Candy. Alexis Michelle, I heard you talking downstairs about your experiences at the center. What did you feel when you went into the room this year?
Well, hello NYC, also my hometown. Today is really, I'm feeling all the feelings being in this building. Twofold, you know, one, I am here with the most incredible cast of All-Stars 8. All the years that I auditioned before I got on season 9, being a part of this sisterhood meant so much to me, being a part of RuPaul's legacy, and being a part of this cast now is no exception. Every one of these ladies brought their A game and put their best heel forward every single day. And I felt that from day one. I felt that energy from everybody, the way everybody looked, and to be here today with all of you is really incredible. Growing up in New York City, I came out when I was 13, and I used to come here to the center for youth meetings on Saturday afternoons, and being here like this in this capacity is never something I ever imagined might happen. So very excited to be here with my sisters today.
We love that. Thank you.
I was gonna say, going off of that, like knowing where all of you are now, like what would you give a young person who's like what advice would you give a young person who's looking to get into drag? Anybody can jump in.
I would say do what brings you joy, because drag is a lot of work. It's not very comfortable. And
Very comfortable.
the way people connect is through shared joy or shared experience. And so whatever you can do to be a conduit for joy or whatever feeling you're trying to convey, just really find your joy in it so you can find longevity in it and you can share what you love about it and dig deep into it and get weird with it.
And also, Rome was not built in a day. So I promise you, if the first few tries you look a little busted, that's okay. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to you.
Where's my Google? Google.
Others, feel free to jump in and answer this question. What advice would you give to a young person, maybe in this room?
Hi everybody.
Jessica, we love
Hay
you.
Latinos aquí. Yes. Well, my advice is like be yourself. Don't be scared. Like my example on Drag Race, like season 2. I'm part of the OGs. Yes. I was struggling with the English, and that didn't stop me. You know, I was like, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. And this is Jessica Wilde, and my drag is, like you can tell here, we are different, but drag is diversity, so go for it, do your best, and follow your dreams. Don't be scared, let's do this. I want everybody to do drag.
The young people, follow your dreams, and for you older people, keep following your dreams.
Yes!
Never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. That's so important. It is so important because sometimes as we grow older, we think, well, that's it. Can't do it. Yes, you can. Keep dreaming.
Dreams never expire. They
Amen.
never do. And also, you know what? Don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to offer help either. You know?
That's
Somebody needs it.
Love that part.
Some great pieces of advice from some very successful people that we should take into account. This next question really talks to the moment that we're in, which as queer people in this space, we understand the moment that we're in, which is one where we can have Drag Race be one of the important shows in the country at the same time where we're experiencing violence all over the country. So this next question really speaks to that. And again, feel free to jump in, any of you, if you feel compelled to. Knowing where you are, that's the wrong question. This season comes at a time when anti-drag and anti-trans legislation are continually being passed and introduced all over the country. What does it mean to you to be on this show at this time and to have the platform as unique as this to spread love and solidarity across the country?
I'm gonna start this off real quick. We had an interview yesterday and they asked us almost the same question. And Alexis said one thing that resonated with me, and it was, right now we are privileged to be airing in such a time because right now we are the voices of our communities. We are right now in this moment the most famous drag queens in the world, and all eyes are on us. So with this platform, we have so much responsibility now and a huge speaker of loud voices to really, you know, first of all, everyone in here needs to be registered to vote. Okay. And I know sometimes it feels like, oh, it's just one vote. It won't. It do.
Every single vote. You know, in 2016, that's when I filmed season 9, and the way that I felt connected to the world while we were filming was by watching the news, and it looked like we were poised to have our first woman president, and that was very exciting, and then we entered into the twilight zone shortly thereafter. And I had, on that election night, I remember I had I was speechless. I watched the results coming in and I just could not believe what was going down. And in the morning when they finally made the official declaration, I had a very selfish moment, which was, how can I live my dream in a climate like this? And about 30 seconds later, I said, snap out of it, bitch. Just add activist to your job description.
Yes.
At its essence, drag has always been about activism, particularly at the start of the LGBTQIA+ movement. And here we are yet again in 2023, and activists is what we must all be. So always do it safely, but speak up. And I have always felt that by living your truth, being your authentic self, and presenting that to the world, that really has the power to change minds and hearts.
It's been said, it's such an honor to be a part of this cast and this platform at this time. Drag is not a crime. Drag is not a crime. Some of my fashion choices are criminal, but that's a whole... We don't want to talk about that. Honestly, what's happening is that we're getting attention. And I believe that I have learned in my life that oftentimes when you are fearful, people act out in anger. And so we are coming out of the closet. We are coming out of the basements. Drag is everywhere. Drag is mainstream. And you are mainstream. We are living our authentic lives more loudly and proudly. And that scares some people. Let them be scared. Let them be scared and live your truth. This is a revolution. This is progress, and we're getting there. And there'll be some bumps in the road. But I think the truth of the matter is that if you lead with love, everything is possible.
So I'm also curious, and I'd love to hear from some of the queens who maybe haven't had a chance to speak yet. How do resources like the center, like physical community spaces that center and protect our community, or even things like the Drag Defense Fund, help communities like organize at this time?
Honestly, I feel like LGBT centers are such an important part of our community. In Milwaukee, I grew up thinking I was all alone. I was the only gay person there. And when you go and you surround yourself with like-minded people and people who are like you, or people who are outsiders, you find your community. And like, that's the one thing that we have over the people that are homophobic and whatnot, is we have community, and that's what they fear. And we're stronger together, and I'm glad that we have spaces like this, and we're working so hard to make sure that they're protected.
Woo!
I also agree with James. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, and I was the only black, queer person that anybody knew, and it was very scary at times. I was afraid to be who I was, and in that time of my life, I was afraid. I didn't know who I was. I was unsure, and I didn't know what I was doing with my life. And if I had had something as beautiful as a center there for me, I would have maybe come to terms with who I was sooner and understood that what I'm doing is not a crime. What I'm doing and how I'm feeling is not wrong. It's just who I am, and that's okay. It's okay for us to be different. It's okay for us to let our freak flags fly. It's okay for us to not walk to someone else's beat of their drum. We can live our own lives and be true to who we are and use that to shine for the next generation coming forward. The thing is, I have to piggyback off of that people are scared of us. They are. We come together in the most hardest times, and we always, always, always come out on top. They are scared, they are nervous, and they want to take us back to the Stone Ages, but bitch, I'm not going. So,
In addition to places of community like the center here, we have Lala here from the ACLU. A proud black trans woman. And I know I'm preaching to the choir, but we all feel that this time in particular is a time to come together as a community and stand behind and stand with our trans brothers and sisters. They are under particular microscope and attack, and we as representatives of RuPaul's Drag Race are really honored to be teamed up with the ACLU, who created the Drag Defense Fund. And while we won't reveal the grand tally of what has been raised is a bright, shining example of what happens when community comes together. So Lala and the ACLU, thank you.
And the beautiful thing about the center, this is not just for children, this is also for adults who are scared, who are learning things about their children, who need that support as well. We all need to work together and be like, oh, this is not so scary, don't worry about it. There are children like this, there are parents. You don't have to be ashamed of a child who you think is different. They're beautiful, they're exactly the way they were intended. And you can learn just as much. So that's what I think is beautiful about having a center like this, because children are probably not going to donate to the Drag Defense Fund, but their parents are. We got their checkbooks. So, checkbook, old. Get my pocketbook. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing that we can all get involved in. It's like children of the future, teach them well and let them lead. That's catchy. So I should write that. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, and that's the great thing about the children for the students will turn around and be the teachers someday.
Anyone else want to get into that question? We're going to go to our last question. So those queens who haven't spoken, feel free to jump in, but obviously those girls who have already spoken, keep talking. Okay, so how can those of us...
We want to fight.
How can those of us who are not drag performers help in the ongoing battle given today's political climate? How can we support? Alexis, you talked about the Drag Defense Fund, but what are some other ways that you folks think all of us can help from our own places in the world?
Well, hi everyone, I'm Nisha. Something that we haven't touched on that I feel is very important is that people, yes, they are afraid because they are uneducated. We need to take us, especially with this platform, and we need to educate as best as we can, right? For example, there is not one person up on this stage that wants to do show for an 8-year-old. That's none of us. I'll tell you that right now.
Well,
None of us are saying line up. None of us are saying we want to do that. We are not performing for children. Now, there has been shows, there has been things that have happened in the future where kids are present, correct? Now, at that point, these are things that happen with venues, promoters. These are things that can be controlled in other ways, right? But it is up to us to come together and educate people that we are not performing for children. This is not what we're doing. What we do is we perform at a pride that is open to everyone. And I promise you that every single person on this stage has enough common sense to not go do wet-ass pussy at a fucking pride. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is the thing, we're being attacked in a way that is untrue. And when you hear those things that are untrue, I ask you, educate. Yes, I did see Naisha and Kahana showing body, but you know where at? At a 21 and older bar. That's where I saw her perform. And they're trying to create this false narrative. And you know that it's a false narrative because when have you been at a bar with any of us doing that kind of music with a 6-year-old next to you? The chances of that are probably slim to none, right? So I just encourage you to take those opportunities and educate these people that are saying, oh, well, they're trying to groom and they're trying to do this and trying to do that. But educate these people and let them know because you are there, you are present, and you see what goes on. So please take that, please do that for us.
I agree with Aisha, and I want to add to that, support local drag. And
we air the lovely show.
I love you guys so much. Oh, thank you. We love you too, baby.
Candace said me, I have the final call.
It is an entertainment program, not a documentary on drag. It is an entertainment program, not a documentary.
Yes, and please tune in every single Friday on Paramount Plus, starting May 12th. When I tell you, baby, it's good. I'm not even saying it because I'm there. This is going to be,
Yes, she is.
this is truly going to be one of the best Drag Race seasons you have seen in a very